Hey everyone, Honest Stewie here. Hopefully everyone's doing okay. And please excuse if I look a little bit wonky here. It's just because I've had to set the camera up on top of my glasses case, balanced on top of like a booklet, because I still haven't done my room yet. I've got my wardrobe to build and I've got to pick a chair yet. I've got my desk, but I need a chair. I can't be crouched, my leg gives way now. I'm old. Speaking of my age right now, I've just got through watching the time travel movie called Time Cut, and it travels back to 2003. Now, before I get into the review of the movie, I've got to tell you that makes me feel old. Like 2003, I was thinking that's not that long ago, and then when you think about 21 years ago, 21 years ago, my God, I was 10. I was 10 years old. So anyway, I'll delve into the movie. I'll just do a brief description of it, of what I liked, what I didn't like, and why the ending doesn't work. So I'll crack on with it. It's not going to be a full in-depth review because there's not much to go over really. If you saw, there's a movie called Totally Killer. It's saying it's very similar to. It is, but it isn't that movie. It's Totally Killer is totally different time period as well. It's 80s, and I read a thing that this movie was in production before Totally Killer, which is pretty cool. But Totally Killer did it right. This didn't. I'll get into it. So what I did like about the movie is the storyline. Didn't mind it. Thought it was a great premise. So if you don't know the storyline of it, it goes by there's a murderer slasher. He kills 4 people in 2003. One of these people is the main protagonist's sister, and it goes. Obviously, it shows the intro. I'll go over the intro real quick. So she gets chased down. It goes on for a while, like everyone does, and then you think, oh, she's gonna get stabbed. He picks up like a garden rake thing and swings it, and it cuts away. You don't see her die. You don't see anything, and it cuts to the title card, and you think, right, so it's gonna show some brutal kills as it goes along, or something good. It's 15, so it's gotta have something in it. So we go down. She's talking to her mum. This is in current time. You see, they're not seeing eye to eye. They're still grieving about her sister. She's always wondering how she's never met this sister before, but she's always it's like a sort of she's haunted by her in a way, like not haunted like there's a ghost about, but she's sort of like she wants to know her. She wished she wasn't murdered. She wished that she got to know her, and sort of have that bond that she never had. I never experienced. So anyway, she goes back to her sister's old place, and she finds like a note in the floorboards and all this. Anyway, so we find a time machine in this barn, and she literally pushes a button. It takes her straight back to 2003, and it really makes me realise just how old I am, because everything I'm looking at, I had one of them. I had that. I remember that. I remember this. I remember that. I remember the Nokia phones. I remember the CD players. And I'm just like, oh God, this is like like half the stuff in the movie is non-existent now. Like we still have the CD players, but we have our phones for everything now, and we have YouTube, and we have MySpace. We have not MySpace now. We've got Instagram, and we've got Facebook, and we've got like TikTok. We've got all sorts. Where there was none of that back then. Like MySpace wasn't even around back then, apparently, by the movies terms. Which I do think that was a thing. I don't think MySpace existed then. And we had them really noisy computers that sounded like they were kicking out little jet streams, like yeah, I remember them bloody computers. I had one of them growing up. I used to always think it crashed on me. I used to have to set little fans up around it, stop it overheating because it used to crash. And that was when I was on stuff. But even that, I don't even think it was then, because that was when I was playing RuneScape and stuff. So anyway, one of them computers are in the movie, and she thinks it's gonna blow up, and they do a little daft thing where she's like, "Oh, what have I angered it for?" And he's like, "No, that's what I do." So let's get into the main characters so I can explain what I liked about the movie real quick. So first things first, she meets this guy. She sees his teacher, and she talks about, is it bad if you change anything with time travel, and do you believe in it? And he's like, yeah, you can change things, but you've got to be careful of the butterfly effect scenario. And then this kid pops up and goes, no, you shouldn't change a thing at all, because it's not like Back to the Future. This is the main kid. It'll wipe the existence out. You won't just wipe yourself out. You could wipe the whole universe out and everybody in it, just by changing one little thing. So I'm thinking, right, this movie's going to go down a good path here then. If that's the stakes are higher than just you could just wipe yourself out or a friend out or a family member, you could wipe everyone out. So this is going to go down, quite a good route. Obviously, a logically good route because he's smart too. Anyway, we go through this movie. She meets her sister and they start to talk and the bonding scene, they click straight away. And she tells the guy about she's the time traveller, the smart guy. She hasn't told her sister yet, but she needs to get a key card from her dad to get to this company that has this canister for the time machine. And what she wants to do is pretty much go back. She doesn't want to be where she is. She doesn't want to really change anything because she's scared to. And she's talking with her sister at a scene, and they're talking at the house, at her parents' house, and it shows how different she's tread to how she was at the beginning. Her mum and dad just seemed loving and caring, and just lovely. Her mum wasn't horrible at the beginning. She was just not. She just needed more support, and I think also the daughter needed more support. You could see she was just a support child. They had her to replace her sister, but anyway, you notice she's nothing like her sister really. She's herself, which is right. And again, that was like I say, it was setting up a really good sort of, I felt for her. You feel for people like that, because obviously different circumstances that does happen. People have daughters that not just daughters, just children. If they've lost any children, can have it to replace them. And it's an interesting premise to go back and actually see how they are with them. And she was like, "Oh, I never got that with my parents." It's quite good the way they did it. It's really good. So anyway, we fast forward through it. I'll just skip through a little bit here. So they're chatting on the bed, and she's chatting with her sister, and she goes, "If you knew something bad would happen, would you stop it?" And she's like, "Yeah, why are you asking me this?" And she's like, "Right." So she runs to the mall, because the two friends are about to get murdered. Like I say, one of the four murders, two of them are in the mall, and then it goes to the party. So it's not that many kills. So anyway, we go to the mall, and we skip through the mall, and the two friends are dead already. The guy he gets killed by a CD. The killer's beat it to it, and then what I didn't get here, right, was the movie missed something here. That the first time the killer, I don't know if you've noticed this, but the killer had a black hoodie on and a mask, and he killed the guy. The girl gets out of there, he's still there, she's a mile away from him. She up top of the escalator, so she's coming down it. Oh no, she's running down it. He's at the bottom straight away in a red hoodie. So we're like, boom, there's two killers. Boom, right? Two killers, really tall, can't be the douchebag guy. The hint to him, can't be him. It's douchebag guy at the beginning. I'll get into this bit real quick. So pretty much, we go through the whole movie, and then the party happens, and obviously we know what happens there to stop the killer. Turns out, the whole twist, a little bit of a spoiler here. Spoiler warning, but I'll tell you, it's the nerdy kid. He's the killer, and it's just him. There's not two, it's just him. And the reason he becomes the killer is at the beginning he gets rejected by his sister, and he got thrown into water by this nerdy guy. So by this douchebag. So pretty much what happens at the beginning, she saves this guy from getting thrown into water, and they become friends by this nerdy guy. And what's happened here, there's another timeline. He got thrown in the water, got angry and mad, then got rejected and decided to just kill her and her friends. Very stupid premise considering. It made no sense motive-wise. It just made very sort of... And the reason she rejected him wasn't really because she didn't like him. It was because she was a lesbian. So she was in love with another girl. It wasn't to do with him. It was just he generally wasn't her type. At the beginning it's done a bit weird. She just walk off, and it's a bit rude. But it's not enough to go, "Hi, I'm gonna straight up get rid of yous." Anyway, so his future self is the one travelling back to try and stop her saving her sister. and to kill them and then go. Which still doesn't explain why there was two people, because this current time version of him either was involved, but the movie didn't, or the movie might have cut it out maybe, I don't know, but we'll roll with that. So what happens is, I was jumping to the ending here. So we get down, find out there's a last fight. Again, the deaths. There's a death where the girl gets killed on the escalator. That's what I'm getting into. This is it. So what happens is, in the mall bit, going back here, she shouts help at security guard. He's not aware of what's going on until she shouts help. The one, the sister, shouts help. Security guard dies too. So there's more murders. There's more kills. There's now 5 deaths instead of 4. It's not even brought up throughout the movie at all. He is forgot about. He is literally vanished to the abyss. He may as well have vanished, but no repercussions. So she goes back to anyway. We get to the final fight anyway, and then she goes back to a time. Blah blah. So what she does is she goes back to a time, a bit like Totally Killer, where she drags him through the time machine, and he gets electrocuted by stabbing a socket thing, because she pulls the electric cars. She starts fighting him with that, and it's sparking everywhere, and I'm just like, that wouldn't really happen, but I'll roll with it. Anyway, she puts that up, he stabs that, and then she stabs him. And again, I was looking at the missus, and I was like, there's not enough kills in this movie for it to be a slasher, and there's nothing there. Like, he got stabbed, but there's a little bit of blood, but there's not, like, it's not like Scream or something, or like even Totally Killer was quite good. There was nothing to it. Like the escalator kill, it cut away. It's like they cut bits away to make it PG-13, when I think it still could have been a PG-13. It was still 15. So it just needed a bit more oomph to it, and a bit more kills, and a bit more of a believable character. Sorry, my nose is running something bad today. But, it just needed a more believable main villain. Now, to get in where it falls apart at the end is, they mentioned about time travel could wipe the existence out, this and that. So she kills him, and instead of her meeting a sister, like a sister turning up, because her sister didn't die, another version of him didn't die, instead of them two turning up, like 20 years older, which would have been mint, would have been a great ending. Her destroying the time machine, that being it, maybe showing some repercussions because the security guard died, showing, his family mourning, the death. And the fact that maybe he was going to have a daughter he didn't have. Something, anything, even if it was a cat that died because he couldn't feed it, anything, anything I would have rolled with, except this main bull ending where she jumps in the time machine, goes all the way back to the current bit after she's dealt with a murderer, goes, right, I'm going to put aside what you said about the universe being destroyed, I'm just going to stay here with you guys, and it's going to be absolutely fine. And guess what? Apparently the movie terms doesn't exist no more, because it's fine her staying there. It just ends. It doesn't even show any repercussions. It just ends with her back in time. So it doesn't show the current time when we're looking for her. It doesn't show like nothing. Like it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. Main thing, she doesn't belong there. If he said you change something, she's going to change a load of stuff. Loads of stuff are going to be changed. A, sister shouldn't be there. Sister should be dead. B, he shouldn't be there. He should be the murderer. And, the main thing I'm getting into here is, like I said, the main sister shouldn't exist. She's 16. She hasn't even been born yet. It's not like she's gone back to when she was born and just got... Well, even then it wouldn't make sense. So, in a way, you'd cease to exist yourself. If she did that and she really stayed there, she did, she would cease to exist. She wouldn't exist. And then they do this thing where she's like, oh, I'm your older sister, to the other one. And she's like, no, you're the older sister. And I'm just like, you don't exist. Like, do you not understand the ending fell in on itself? It would have been a much better one if they just said it was like Back to the Future, where you could go back and just have another, even if it's a multiverse, that would have been good. Just another timeline with her in, that's fine. But it just doesn't work at all, the ending. And that's why I'm talking about the movie, really, because I could have had a blast with it. I could have had a good time, and yeah, more kills should have been in it. Yeah, the motive, but it was still good. But it's just that ending. Like, what the heck? Like, what's gone through the writers' heads? They're literally written in the movie, you can't do this, it'll destroy this. Proceeds to do this, doesn't destroy this, doesn't get explained why. So anyway, was going to be about 4 stars out of 5. The ending's gave it 2 because it's a trash ending, absolute bad ending. Doesn't pay off. So that's the thing, the payoff isn't good. Anyway, and she does a narrative thing, which I think is way out of place in the movie. At the beginning, there's a narrative, and yeah, that's what she says about the murders. And then she does another narrative at the end, and I'm just like, no, it wouldn't be a happy ending. She, you know, more people died because of her, and there was no repercussions. So anyway, the ending what would have made more sense is her going back and actually saying bye to her sister. And actually saying, right, I'm choosing you to live and I'll cease to exist. And then maybe not ceasing to exist, seeing a sister 20 years in the future, current time, and having a dad there instead with a mum, and having a sister there and being like, oh, you're like, you know, my auntie instead of my sister sort of thing. Because you can have older sisters. Don't know if the movie knew this, but you can have older sisters. So, yep, and the main thing I'm getting into, real quick finding, the mum, 20 years younger? God, no way. She didn't even dye her hair. Didn't even dye her hair. She still had them greys. Right, I'm done with the ending. Thank you for watching anyway. And again, I've noticed a little thing about my sub count going up. Thank you everyone for subscribing. I really do appreciate it. And like I say, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe more. I'll be doing more reviews. And I'll see you later in the next one. That's about it. Like I say, enjoy it. Put it on. Enjoy. Yeah, the ending's, yeah, trash. Right? I will see you in the next one. Ciao for now. Bye.